Well, it's Monday night, and you guys know what that means. It's the Monday Night Pulse, and man, do we have a big show planned today? A lot of things going on. Let's bring on our co-hosts here. We got Zog today, who's actually on. What's the name of your planet, Zog?
Oh, I don't know what planet we're on, but I snatched the ship over here. The ship's mine now.
Very nice, very nice, man. And my other buddy over here, PulseDojo, who gets to show his gorgeous face today. How you doing, Dojo?
Yes, sir. I apologize in advance. I'm apparently having audio issues, so I really apologize. It sucks. It's out of my control. If I start breaking up, please let me know. Please cut me off, but it's something I got to deal with.
It's all good, man. We got a big show planned tonight, guys. We got some special guests here. Some of you may know her by the name of Fashion Coder. She's very big in the Hex community. She's done a lot of things for the Pulsebitcoin community. I watched her actually she read the white paper live on stream. And, well, this girl knows what she's talking about. So I want to bring her on without further ado. How's it going, Fashion Coder? Welcome.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. Glad to be here.
Absolutely. So we were dying to get you on because we all watched the white paper that you were reading. And, well, first off, how did you digest that? Not too complicated, is it?
No, it was super easy to read, even though, what is it, like in the 20 range of
25 pages, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. The language that was used in it, like anyone could read that and understand what was going on.
Absolutely. And that's kind of the whole goal here, is that we just want to be transparent, there's no surprises and everything. So crypto for everybody. But we really wanted to kind of get to know a little bit more about you, because maybe some of our community doesn't know, where you came from or what it is that you actually do in your regular life, right? But outside of streaming, I imagine it has something to do with coding and possibly fashion also. So why don't you tell us a little bit about kind of, where you came from, what you do, and how you find your way into the Pulse Bitcoin community?
Yeah, absolutely. So I used to be a software developer. I love that. I started coding when I was 13, actually.
Oh, wow.
Which was a really interesting route to go, right? Especially when I got into it. But I ended up really liking it and continued on, got my bachelor's degree in computer science. And then I became a software developer. And then I realized I did not like developing in the real world. I loved coding, but I didn't actually really like developing for a company. And so I went back to school and got my master's degree. So I have an MBA in IT management, and now I work for a tech company and I'm a product owner. And basically what that means is I'm the liaison between the business and the software development team. So I make all of the software stuff make sense to the business, and all of the business stuff makes sense to the developers. And so it's been great being in the role that I'm in now within crypto, of doing these videos and such, because I take the complicated things and make it simple to digest. And then, so it's been good so far. And I got into crypto 4 years ago because of my dad. And then I decided to help people out within my own sphere. So my friends and my family, because, my dad got me into it. So he started helping other people too. I was like, oh, well, at that point in time when I started my channel, I think I was talking to about 30 different people, depending on what it was. And I was like, I can't keep doing this individually. This is not sustainable. And so I was like, I'll just create a channel and do stuff for them. And then it's been a little bit bigger than just my friends and family.
Yeah, I see that. So you got quite a bit of subscribers now, which is awesome to see your channel grow. But yeah, that's a great story. And so how did you find your way into this particular community? I mean, I imagine you came from Hex and started with PLSD maybe?
Yeah, absolutely. So PLSD was definitely something that I saw, and then got into Pulse Bitcoin through that. I feel like it was kind of the gateway into it. And then I had a lot of my subscribers message me, comment all different things of, please do a video on Pulse Bitcoin. And so that's how I find actually most of my things, is different subscribers will just ask me to do different videos. And so I'll go in, and that's how I found it.
Awesome. So what do you think about it? You read that whole white paper. What did you glean out of it that stood out to you versus some of the other cryptos? I'm sure you've read lots of white papers in your lifetime.
Yes, at this point, I definitely have. And it's honestly just because of doing my like videos and stuff. I never had actually read a white paper until I started doing videos, but they're very interesting. Like you can actually learn a lot from a white paper if you didn't know.
Absolutely.
And so for Pulse Bitcoin, I've seen a clip of the video that I actually made, but I thought it was really cool that, you know, of course, Pulse Bitcoin is audited and Bitcoin actually isn't, which that's something that I personally never knew. And so it just already, you know, gives it that one up of like, okay, here we are, like we have this. And I think mining can be a great thing depending on, you know, who's doing it, as long as you have knowledge of like what you're doing when you're going for it. And so I thought that that was great, that that's something that, you know, you can mine Pulse Bitcoin.
Absolutely.
And so I really liked that. And something for me, just, you know, being in development and just being in the tech world, seeing someone's website and how they present themselves is also a big deal to me. And like the workflow of how their website works, even though that's not really like a part of their actual product. I really liked Pulse Bitcoin's website and everything, like the flow of how you would get to a specific like thing. And so I was very impressed with that too. And that's kind of like a side thing, but I was impressed.
Well, I would tell you that, you know, Hex Info is one of the best developers that I've seen his work. So, yeah, it would make sense that the website is clean, right?
Yep.
So, but yeah, you know, when you brought up the point about Bitcoin not being audited, I mean, how crazy is that? Like, this is the #1 market cap coin, and no one even audited it. And I mean, that's obvious because there's been bugs and other things that have happened. So, but yeah, it's great to be a part of a community that our developer, the developer founder, you know, really puts time and effort into making sure that everything is working properly, and it saves a lot of hassle and, you know, people getting wrecked for sure. So, but yeah, Zog, what do you think, man? I'm sorry.
I was going to ask you, did you free claim PulseDoge, or did you learn about it after the free claim? Okay, nice.
Yeah,
nice.
so I did, and then my dad did as well. And so yeah, I just have it in my wallet. I haven't done anything with it, to be honest. But it's in my wallet.
Right on. So you didn't transform for ASIC, I guess.
I didn't. And I feel like that was something that I just really didn't know about until I read the white paper, and I was like, oh, that's cool that you can take that and then do that with it.
Absolutely. Well, it's kind of insane right now, and we're going to cover charts later, but man, Pulse Bitcoin is just flying today. I think we're up 25% or something crazy like that right now, which obviously makes the ASIC miner even more valuable if you're mining gold like that. So, but yeah, welcome to the community. Thanks for coming on the show first and foremost. We would love to kind of teach you a little bit more.
Please
and
do.
So what we wanted to do today, we have a couple things that we want to talk about, topics, current events and stuff, which really kind of affects everyone that's in this ecosystem. And we just want to kind of get some of your thoughts on it. So one of the first things, which, you know, all of us have kind of been following very closely, is the language change in Hex, obviously going from staking to mining. And, you know, I think it makes a little bit of sense for sure. But what are your thoughts on that? You know, how do you think that really matches up to what Hex does and how it works? Is there a better name that maybe you would use?
That's a good question. So I actually did a video on this today.
Oh, did you? Awesome.
Yeah, I did, because I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. I think at least within this specific thing, marketing wise, it's a good idea to change it to mining, just because I feel like mining is a word that's actually probably known more than staking, at least if you're looking at someone who is just getting into crypto, right? They've potentially heard about like mining Bitcoin or whatever it is. And so from a marketing entry level perspective, I think it's smart that this has changed. But I do like the sentence of how Richard does say the focus is on the user doing all of their own work and reaping all of their own rewards. So I think it's focusing on that there is no middleman, and that it doesn't go into it here, but that the hex code is immutable. It doesn't have admin keys. And so it really truly is just the person that's running the code and their coins that they're putting into it. So I definitely think it's an interesting choice. I never would have thought of that myself, to be honest with you, but I think it's interesting, and that it definitely could propel the Hex community and just Hex in general. But I'd love to know all of your thoughts.
You know, so I've seen a lot of names getting tossed around. Publisher was one that I saw not too long ago. And, you know, I don't understand honestly changing it. Like, you know, you've kind of already put all this effort into creating content, websites, other things. There's tons of other, materials that people have shared around staking, and to kind of change it 3 years, 2.5 years into the game, I'm not really understanding why it's necessary. But you know, it's not. I'm not the founder, and he has every right to do what he thinks is best for the community. And so I'm just going to kind of leave this with a question mark. I don't know. I don't know the answer to what it should be called. I think staking would have been just fine. What do you guys think?
Well, I think as far as go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say it's obviously just a narrative switch. Nothing's really changing, but Hex was originally called Bitcoin Hex. That's what the original name was. Pritchard has always maintained that Hex is Bitcoin with a proof of work change instead of just buying and selling Bitcoin. You can stake Hex, which Bitcoin doesn't have. So in the early days, he kind of went with that narrative, and obviously it sort of changed. And when Hex actually launched, he dropped the Bitcoin moniker. But I don't know. Like, for me, it's more interesting why he's doing this now rather than the fact that it's being done. I mean, there's obviously a lot of speculation about that. But at the end of the day, nothing's actually changing. It's just how people speak and the terminology they use.
Right. True.
Well, that's
true.
an interesting point that you bring up there with, like, nothing has changed. Like, well, all the websites can say mining, but the code is still going to say staking as far as Hex. And that's just a statement of fact. It's not a confrontational statement in any way. It just is what it is. And Fashion Coder, I like what you said with regards to like how simple and easy it is to understand and what it does for onboarding. When I read the white paper for Pulsebitcoin, as a Hexican myself, and I was just looking to diversify my assets and stuff, I was reading through the white paper and just how easy it was to, was like, oh, mining? Okay, cool. That's so easy. I use my Asic, I plug it into the code, and then out comes Pulsebitcoin. Very easy to understand. And one of the perspective things that we look at for our community is what ASIC could be used for in the future. A lot of speculation out there for a potential Pulse Litecoin or a community member who's making their own token and things like that, where it's like when you stake Hex or mine Hex now, I guess, it makes more Hex. Right now, when you mine with ASIC, it makes Pulsebitcoin. But as we go along, we're looking at ASIC being so much more than that. The token generation and speculative aspect of what it could be used for is what I really find appealing.
Well, and I'm glad you brought that up, because I was trying to find a place in the show to talk about it. But we kind of had a special guest in the voice chat not too long ago. And, well, it may have been Hex Info. And he was, aside from thanking the community for everything that's going on regarding, all the streaming and just getting the message out there, he made it very clear that he's working very hard on Pulse Litecoin. And, all of us know that ASIC will have a couple more purposes, as well as Pulsebitcoin locks new systems too. So he's got the community ASIC miner, which, and I don't want to compare it to like Maximus. Fashion Code, are you familiar with Maximus at all?
Yes, I am familiar.
Cool. So we're kind of doing something similar where we'll have a community ASIC miner, and then so the rewards will go into a pool, I imagine. I don't know everything about it because it's not launched yet, but we're looking at the end of March from the details that he's given us so far. So that should be pretty interesting also.
That's exciting. And it's close.
Because it's
very close.
It's because if you're a smaller player, the gas fees aren't great. If you're starting or ending a miner, you might be paying $5-10. So if you're working with $100, that's substantial. So again, like Zabi said, we don't know exactly what that means, but I'm assuming it means for smaller people or anybody, maybe if you want to use a community miner, maybe you don't have to pay gas fees every month. Obviously, when PulseChain comes out, gas fees for anything will be negligible, but still, we don't know when that is, and I don't think we should rely on waiting for PulseChain for anything. So, waiting to hear more on that. But apparently he's releasing seven smart contracts that are going to involve PulseDoge staking, an ASIC community miner. Apparently, there's going to be a buy and burn on Hex. There's going to be there's all types of stuff that's going on. We don't really know a whole lot, but apparently the white paper is going to be released when the contracts are released, so it should all come out at the same time.
And it's so close, man. Like end of March, like we're coming right up on it. So, I'm really excited to kind of see how fast the community is growing right now. The charts are showing the growth as well, and just to see all these new things happening in the next, the end of this month, it's just going to be insane. So we're all very excited here in this community for sure. All right, so if anyone has any other comments on the mining to staking change, I wanted to talk about real quick here. We won't touch on it too long, but we also just have a new stream on Twitch. So for you guys that kind of hang out on Twitch, Asic Miner is hosting that. And right now we're kind of in the top rankings based on viewership. So, if you guys hang out on there, definitely check that out. But what I want to do before anything else, and we got this wonderful man hanging out in the green room, PLSD Thailand. Hopefully we're not keeping him up past his bedtime, but I want to bring him on. He's been a intricate part of this community, and we would love to kind of talk to him today. So PLSD, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, bud. How you doing? Hey, everyone. Good to see you all.
Absolutely.
It's in the morning, so you're not keeping us up. I've just woken up, and what a lovely thing to wake up to. We're up 25, 30% or whatever we are. So brilliant. I should have more of a lie in, I think.
Yeah, sleep in.
Sleep
sure.
in more. It seems like every time I have a lie in, something happens. It used to happen with PLSD. I can remember waking up and PLSD is gone up, and it was just a little joke between the community. But with the different time zones that we have here. But I love this community. I love our ecosystem that we have. What Hex Info's done for us all. I'm a Hexagon. I'm a second generation Hexagon in the sense that I'm not an OG. I didn't get in pre sort of with a lot of them got in. I got in. I got in about sort of 3 or 4 cents or whatever it was. And I'm really pleased now that I'm seeing things sort of take off with everything, really.
Right on.
But yeah, good, and it's great that we've got this channel. Sammy started this up. We all started this up as such, and now we've got two live shows every single week. It's fantastic. I can imagine there being more. Zombie, you're doing a great job there. And everyone else, to be honest.
So we're actually funny that you bring that up. There are some more streamers that are coming out of the community. So this thing's coming alive, guys. And this brings me to a topic I wanted to bring up with Fashion Coder. Everyone that you're looking on the stream, except for maybe you, Fashion Coder, you probably have the most hours on stream right now out of all of us. But we're just trying to motivate other community members to kind of get out of their comfort zone and do something, right? Put yourself out there, put a little effort into it, and do something. So I wanted to kind of just find out a little bit about how that you juggle, because it sounds like you have a full-time job, which that job sounds a little more than full-time. But that being aside, like, how do you find the time to get all the content together, study and research what you're going to talk about? Like, do you sleep at night?
Yes, I do sleep.
Awesome.
Yes, I get a full night's rest, because if I don't, then I can't do anything.
Yeah.
I feel like my thing with all of that, so I've had actually a lot of people tell me like they're scared to be on stream, or whatever it is, and I think everyone actually feels that way in some type of way of like, oh, I don't know if I could actually do this, like that's someone else's job but not mine. But the thing is we're all part of this community, and so when you do put yourself out there, it really actually can help someone else. And seeing someone like start up from the ground up is also like very impressive. And even for me, I'm like, okay, I can keep doing this. And I don't even stream, I feel like, that much. I just post like how-to tutorials and such. But I think something when I got into it is I was like, I need to be perfect. And none of us are going to be perfect. None of our content's going to be perfect. And I actually think that that's what makes our content better, is because we're real people in the real world doing, you know, if someone does have a full-time job or are in their career, like you can have a full-time job and do crypto at the same time. Sometimes you have to juggle, definitely. And that's a struggle in itself. But something that's really helped me is, you know, my dad got me into crypto. And so when I do research, typically I'll actually ask him about it first. And I'll ask him, you know, can you tell me like what you know about this? And then once I like learn more about it, then I'll like discuss it with him. So I think it's about having friends that you actually discuss crypto things with, because then you're more likely to be confident in posting whatever it is because you've talked it through with someone else instead of just being like, okay, well, here's this. I don't know if this is right, but here we are.
Yeah, right. Well, it seems like your efforts have done a great job in onboarding new people. So, I mean, you know, look, whether you're in our coin or another coin or any coin, just getting people financially free in crypto out of the legacy banking systems, I think we're all doing our part, you know, and eventually they may find each other somewhere, right? Or find us somewhere.
Exactly.
But-
And it's about getting people into crypto, right? It's about the decentralization. And then, of course, you want them to come to the coins that we're all into, right? But the first step is getting into crypto just in general. And if it's through the specific coin first, that's awesome. But also at the exact same time, it's just like if you can get them into crypto, that's such a win in itself.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. So PLSD, you're looking that you may be coming on more often. Is that what we're thinking here?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm for anything that's to help the community. I'm obviously always here. I mean, I do a lot of my lurking on Twitter, should I say, and I'm sort of there. I sort of have that as my sort of role and whatever. But yeah, I mean, I'm good to come on and help out whenever's necessary, really.
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's as far as Thailand's concerned, you know, we've got a Hex community here, and you know, there's a few of us now that are into obviously Pulsebitcoin, PulseDoge, that sort of stuff. I had my bike done. I don't know if you ever saw it, but I've got a little scooter here, little Vespa, and I had it all painted and I had it all done up with PLSD logos and everything, and you know, it was sort of going around. That's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but so no, all good, really. You know, everything's good.
Yeah, this community is growing rapidly.
So pleased to be in on it. I mean, you know, I'm a Hex staker, so I got my original PulseDoge coins. I was at that time where, you know, just to explain briefly, where were we? Oh yeah, so there were these big sort of things going on. You know, shall we claim? Shall we not claim? Is it safe to claim? And there were streamers sort of saying maybe it's not. And then I claimed. And then a very good friend of mine, who is a massive part of this community, he told me who is involved. You know, he told me all about this, where we're looking to evolve, the whales that are in this project, how staunch they are, how strong they are, and Hex info. You know, I can't say enough about that guy. You know, I really can't say enough about him, and a few others here. You know, he's just great. He's a genius when he comes out with all this stuff. And now we've got KB, and we've got all the stuff that you were talking about when I came on. It's just it's fantastic. It's exciting. It's exciting to be part of.
And just to kind of add to that, you know, you mentioned about the whales that we have here, but we're unified, right? We're actually getting together. We're discussing things. As you can see in the slide on the screen here, we actually do a meeting once a week now, where we're all the community members, the admin team is kind of putting together ideas of how to onboard better, creating content. We have like a full design team that's helping us create things like memes and other graphs and charts and cool stuff to share around. So we have like a real unit of I don't want to call it a company, but it almost kind of feels like that in a point. Everyone plays their position, and they're good at what they do. So like I said, this company is growing rapidly. Zog, you've been
It's
quiet up
100%
there, buddy. What? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Dojo.
No, I was gonna say it's 100% organic. Nobody's paid to do any of this. I've never spoken with X Info in my life. No, I had no idea I was even going to be streaming. Zombie made me.
Oh yeah.
Said, "Hey, come do this." I was like, "Okay, I did it. I'm just here. I am. I just showed up." So nobody has anything to do with any of this officially. We just started hanging out, and it's organic. So there you go.
Absolutely. Zog, talk up, buddy. You've been so quiet up there today. Can you breathe in that?
No, you're good, man. But it's one of those. I'm just sitting here absorbing all the information you guys are sharing and stuff. It's all good. It's all good stuff. I'm going to jump back one slide here and give a shout out to Midas. He and I are in voice chat pretty regularly, just mixing it up in there. He has been putting it, and you're talking about organic growth and stuff. Midas has been putting in an immense amount of work into push into the Twitch space there. Apparently, there's a huge crypto presence out there, and he's putting our name out there. He's got like this page with all the charts, and he has a live stream of all the voice chat, which we'll talk about the stats on that. That stuff is absolutely amazing when we talk about organic growth. And as far as anyone else that is on Twitch is interested in going to that, there's the links down there at the bottom. And he called himself today when I talked with him briefly before coming on stream, was that he's the Magic 8 Ball. If you want to go in there, you need an answer right away, like what's going on with this community, what do you think about the charts or anything like that? He is there to answer those questions. He's making himself available to anyone and everybody that wants to participate. He's there for you. Take advantage of that resource. That's amazing. Like, what other community does that? Especially when we're only like 4 or 5 months old.
Yeah, for sure.
By the way, his daughter was born the day the Pulse Bitcoin contract launched. So that's awesome. The Pulse Bitcoin, or was it when the first one was mined? I can't remember. But either way, that's the Pulse Bitcoin. The day it launched. There you go. That's awesome.
Man, is Richard Hart really in the chat? That has to be a parody. Because no way. I don't even want to put it up here, but I feel like I have to. That's terrible.
Yeah,
oh, Richard, that can't be him. I hope not. Terrible.
No.
So yeah, Twitch is popping right now. We got a Facebook channel, we got an Instagram channel, the Telegram channel. It's got 9,200 strong right now. And we can go over all these stats here. I think you got a slide for it right there.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and talk to that. Like that stuff gets me excited. Are we doing NFT of the week or what's up?
Yeah, let's do that. Because one of the things in Fashion Coder, I'm not sure if you kind of heard of this or not, but we have the Pulse Bitcoin lock system, which you can lock up NFTs, and you really can kind of set as long as you want to. I think there's some out there that are over 10,000 days, which is just insane. Unlimited. But at this point in time, there's no rewards whatsoever, but yet we have over 16% of the supply right now.
Wow.
That is locked up. And I'll tell you, that's pretty impressive because this has only been available for like a couple months. So it just really shows you that people believe in this ecosystem. And this locking mechanism is only going to get better because Pulse Bitcoin Lock is now adding a reward feature to that as well. So therefore he can, we can get some gains, I guess, while you're locked up. And that's just bullish in itself.
Imagine in 2009, if you could have locked your Bitcoin up, how many more billionaires there would be in the world, Bitcoin billionaires, millionaires, all these people. It doesn't matter if you're early, it matters if you hold. Well, you got to do both. But if you could have done that back then, imagine what could have happened. So yeah, and what we were talking about earlier with these 7 new contracts that are going to launch, this is the developer that's making those, the gentleman who made Pulse Bitcoin Lock. There's going to be PulseDoge staking involved. There's going to be a Hex buy and burn, I believe. There's going to be a community Asic miner, 7 separate smart contracts. And we don't have all the details, but we're just kind of waiting to see. So it's exciting stuff. And yeah, right now you just lock these up. You don't get anything right now. We're assuming that these contracts are going to come out. So maybe that'll change. Sounds like it will. But as of right now, this is just so you diamond hand your Pulse Bitcoin and don't sell it too early. It's very powerful. If you say, what's the point? Like I said, go back to 2009. If you could have locked your Bitcoin up.
Yeah,
Nice.
and I mean, look, the whole point of that is just to protect people from themselves. That's it. You know, a lot of people are moved by emotions in the market, and you know, if you can't touch it, you can't hurt yourself. So, but this is one of the NFTs here that we that we picked. There's always some crazy ones. Zog, can you pull up the website here while we're taking a look at this one? Because I'd love to flip through some of the newest ones, and it'll also kind of say the total there. So when you got it ready, just present your screen.
Yeah, thank you.
But you know, this one not locked up for too long, but again, you know, it's kind of funny, and there's people that which you'll see on this website that are locking up for really good reasons, and you know, it definitely kind of touches my heart to see some of what, you know, people are locking up for. For example, grandparents locking up for their grandkids, you know, young students locking up for their college tuitions, their dream cars, their dream houses. And so, like, you know, they're really starting to dream about the ecosystem long term. And I love that. You know, I didn't come here to this ecosystem to swing trade or to, you know, deal with day to day looking at charts and not being able to sleep at night because I got to worry about supports and resistances and stuff like that. So, you know, me being an entrepreneur, a businessman, I need a stable place that I can put my money, let it sit and not worry, right? How do you guys feel about, you know, when you get into a crypto, what do you look for? Let's start with you, Fashion Coder. What do you look for in a community to know that you've chose the right coin to hang out with?
Yeah, so I didn't really know what it was like until I actually started streaming. What it was like to be a part of a community, because I didn't care. My dad would just tell me what to invest in, and that's what I would do. And so my first real community that I jumped into was Hex, and I was just absolutely blown away by them. And from here on out, like, just a community that your wins are their wins and their wins are your wins. And I can totally see that within this community, because it just, all of you are here to volunteer and do this, and you really believe in the product. And so it's nice to see that in a community like this. So that's what
Absolutely.
I look for.
Absolutely. PLSD, what do you look for in a community? I know you came from Hex, but even maybe before that, what do you look at before you make your buy?
Yeah, I mean, just to echo really what Fashion Coder said, really, you know, it's, I mean, the community that I'm in, you know, that we're in, it's just, I keep repeating myself, you know, it's just fantastic. I just, you know, everyone seems to want to play their part. Everyone seems to do their own little bit all the time. You know, as I mentioned before with what we're doing. I mean, look at our voice chat. You know, look at the voice chat in that we have on our Telegram. It's amazing. You know, it's 30, 40 people could be on there at one time. I mean, that's colossal. That's a lot of people at one time talking. You're having all these meetups now. You know, that we've got going on. The onboarding that seems to be happening. The community itself, you know, it's great. It's a good vibe. There's a good buzz, you know, and yeah, you know.
Absolutely. So I got a question here in the chat, and before we get too far away from the Pulse Bitcoin lock, one of you guys want to explain kind of what we see the goal to be in locking? It's kind of obvious, I guess, but let's talk into it a little.
I think the goal is up to the person. You don't have to do it. I mean, I didn't do it until just a few days ago. So on the previous slide, there was a little blurb there. It said, if you want to maximize the rewards, they're upcoming right there. There you go. The max you can do is 1,000 Pulse Bitcoin for 1,000 days. So if locking up 2,000 for 1,000 days is the same as 1,000, obviously. So that's the max. Now you can do as many as you want. If you have 10,000 Pulse Bitcoin, you can lock up 1,000 for 1,000 times 10, and then you'll get, you know, rewards based off that. And again, we don't really know what these rewards are per se yet. I would say for me, the best thing about Pulse Bitcoin lock is just to make yourself diamond hand. I mean, everybody thinks they're diamond handed until you need the money, right? And then it all goes out the window. So it forces you to do that. There's no way, it's not possible to unlock it ahead of time. 0% chance. You can make it a transferable NFT, and then you can sell the NFT. Obviously, that doesn't hurt the market price. So even if you have 100,000 Pulse Bitcoin, you can sell that to a private buyer, and that won't affect the price. So for me, I made mine transferable just because I'm all about speculation about what's going to happen in the future, and I want to be able to sell it if need be, or transfer to a different wallet if your wallet gets compromised. Now, that's a good point, because if you make it non-transferable, it cannot leave your wallet. So if your wallet gets hacked, and T-Rex mentioned this on the little comment blurb, so I want to shout out to him. But if you make it non-transferable, it can't leave your wallet. So if a hacker gets into your wallet and drains all your funds, he can't take the Pulse Bitcoin NFT because it can't leave your wallet. Now, he could sit there and wait for 10 years if you locked it for 10 years, and then after 10 years is up, if he's sitting there waiting, he can still get it. But for all intents and purposes, you're probably going to be saved by that functionality. But it's up to the individual user. Some people do it for different reasons.
Yeah. I think, and Zog, I'd love to hear what you feel about it, but my thought is that it removes sell pressure a little bit. If you're locked up for 5,000 days, even 1,000 days, that's quite a long time. So it definitely just takes away sell pressure, and I think that's part of the ultimate goal, to build a foundation to grow on. Zog, what do you feel about that, buddy?
Yeah, so I was messing around with the Pulse Bitcoin lock website here. For whatever reason, it's not being responsive for me, but that's okay. One of the things that was brought up before is the opportunities for over-the-counter purchases and stuff, which I think is pretty valuable for somebody. Say you're a whale, right, and you want to come in big, and all you got to do is just find an NFT you want, and then you just buy it right there at that price with zero slippage. That's pretty bullish, especially once the liquidity starts getting thin and they want to start making larger purchases and stuff, depending on their time horizons. And it should be noted that you could put a 0-day lock on there, right? Say you've got a buddy that's a whale or something like that, and they want to purchase, I don't know, 50K worth, right? Man, 50K in a market buy, that's going to be pushing up the price pretty good. If you just buy it over the counter from your buddy or something who's been mining since, before the first halving, then that could be a good way to hook them up with zero slippage, and you get the price that you want also.
Right. Yeah, it's a beautiful system. Absolutely a beautiful system. What's Sammy say here? That if we, that's a good point there. What Sammy's saying right there. If we reach 25% lockup in the first halving, that's 50% of the next halving yield off the table. So, if you can't see the bullishness of this ecosystem long term, I don't know what else we can do to show you. But yeah.
That's a good point. 50% of the supply. 50% of the supply is getting mined before the first halving. After the first halving, then the 25% of the supply. So 75% of the supply, I believe, right? Yeah, is getting mined before the first two halvings are up. So the more that gets locked up now, while it's $1, well, what is it, $1.25? While it's cheap, the most getting locked up, the earliest, when it's the cheapest, is the best thing possible. And it kind of mimics the fact that so much Bitcoin was lost early on, because when Bitcoin first came out, obviously it was the first crypto. Nobody had any idea what was going to happen. Well, maybe some people did, but I think the estimate is 3 to 5 million Bitcoin that's been permanently lost. So, and that still factors into the market cap of Bitcoin, even though technically it's gone. It can never actually be sold. So it really doesn't count. But I think this kind of works in that same direction, where it's obviously not being lost, but it's being locked up for a lot of it's being locked up a long time. So it does kind of help in that same sense, where so much of the supply early on is getting locked away, and it'll be unthinkable for some people. In a couple of years, oh my God, somebody locked 1,000 Pulse Bitcoin for 10,000. It'll be unthinkable, right? And that's why it's so important to be done right now, and it is being done right now. I mean, 16% of the current supply. You can't understate it. I'm so glad that Pulse Bitcoin Lock, or KB, made this project.
Bumpy.
Exactly. So, hey, but while we're on the topic of that, we have some amazing members in the community, and they actually created some cool videos, and I have 3 that I want to show, but I'm going to kind of space them out. And so the first one I want to show is kind of relevant to our buddy Zog up here. So I'm going to play this real quick. Yeah, there's always some cool stuff coming out. That's from Pratish in India, and he's created some really cool stuff for us to just kind of help, get some eyes on the ecosystem. Zog, do you have that
And he made-
website ready, buddy? I'm sorry, go ahead.
He made the
Yeah,
intro
let's take
video
a look here.
too, didn't
Yeah, he did make the intro also, and he made a couple other videos too that we'll probably play here sometime in this stream. But Zog, if you got that website for Pulse Bitcoin Lock, let's pull that up.
Yeah, this thing's being non-responsive for me here. For whatever reason, it just keeps giving me the spin wheel of death. Sorry, guys.
Okay, that's fine. So what I'll do is I can actually pull it up too. But something I'd like to cover, and this is actually an exclusive right now. So CR from our community is, first off, he's a genius. He's created some really cool things, websites, etc. And he's launching a new website called True DeFi. It's actually truedefi.net, and I would love to pull it up here. Let me do a screen share real quick. But he put together this website, and first off, it's absolutely gorgeous. I mean, the graphics on this, the design work is great. Oh, there you are, Fashion Coder.
Oh, I'm excited to see this.
Yeah, right. So the whole purpose is that this is the ultimate portal for onboarding. So it has absolutely everything that you will ever need to inform yourself and stay connected as well. So as you can see here, we have all of our streams popping up here. But let's kind of dig a little further. And this is literally like, I have kind of looked at the dev website on this, but this is the first time that I'm seeing the final product here. And so we can kind of just go through it a little bit together. And obviously you guys can read some of this. But yeah, there's a lot of connected videos here. Hold on, let's get to so we got two
screen. I don't see it. I don't know if anyone else can see it, but I can't see it.
What, don't you see the screen?
No.
You're kidding. Hold on a second.
we just need
Can't see.
Oh, whoops. Let's try this. Sorry, guys. Here it is. How about now?
There we go.
There we go.
All right. Sorry about that. I apologize. Let's go back to the homepage. So really cool website. Again, you can see that we have our streams up here. We got the Twitch community up here, the Twitter, just so much news. This is a great place to kind of find your news. Let's go here. So there's tutorials, right? If you want to learn how to mine Pulse Bitcoin, we got a good old fashioned coder over here doing the white paper reading. So you can kind of learn a little bit more about that and just some basic stuff. So really is kind of the one-stop shop with everything regarding this ecosystem. And this is not going to be limited to just these coins that we see here. There will be other coins on here, but it's not so much that we're looking to highlight them, but more so that, again, this is just going to be a DeFi hub. So there may be other coins that come on here to attract some people to it. But lots of good stuff on here. I could sit here all day and go through this site, but I need to definitely check on this in my spare time because it's just such a large website. But really cool. Gorgeous, gorgeous website. So yeah, let me stop the screen there. Excellent. Cool. So yeah, that's launched. It's officially available for use right now. That's version 1. I don't know that there's going to be much changes on it, but it definitely serves a great purpose to help onboard. So yeah, what do you guys think about that? I know it's the first time you're kind of seeing it. So.
Well, I tested it a little bit.
Oh, you were in the dev test? Cool.
I got a sneak peek. I also want to give a shout out to CR because he won. It was one of Wolverine's contests on Twitter where he won. I forget how much Pulse Bitcoin, but he ended up distributing it to several other people. They won like 10,000 Pulse Bitcoin. He ended up sending like 1,000 each to some other people. I don't know the exact amounts, but he's a great guy. I've become friends with him over a period of months. He's a fantastic human being and very generous, and he's obviously making that site. So great on him.
Absolutely, absolutely. Like I said, our community. I mean, there's just so many good people that are in here building stuff and doing stuff. Yeah. Oh, you just put that in the chat.
Well, I think that's
so. Yeah.
a resource, like because there's
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I love having that as a resource, right? That talking about organic growth again, just somewhere that people can go. Like if you don't like, say you got to do onboard or something like that. Hey, just go to this webpage real quick, check it out, and it has everything from the ground up, as to why you need it, what crypto should I get into, how I purchase it, all those very basic questions in a way that's easy to digest, and that's awesome.
Yeah, so Fashion Coder, back to you a little bit since you are a special guest here. What are some of your techniques that you're using to help educate and onboard either no coiners or people that are already here?
Yeah, so I feel like it all goes back to your story of like your personal story of how you got into crypto and why you believe in crypto and just kind of how it's changed your life. And so that's been one of my biggest strategies of onboarding people in my life, as well as just people online too, of like, well, this is what happened to me. And I mean, I feel like have set myself up very well for where I'm at right now, but then also for future me. And so about, paying my future self and everything like that. And so, those things aren't talked about. I don't think for any generation. And then especially, being in my early 20s, I'm like, well, here we are, like we're going to take this and we're going to run with this. And so just talking about stuff like that. And I feel like your story and my specific story, just what I've been through, has been very helpful in that. And I think that's for anything, right? Like if you believe in something, if you're passionate about something and you want to share it with someone, like you need to share your story. So that's
Absolutely.
been a big thing. And then it kind of sucks that we're in a bear market right now, but it's also the best time for people to get in. I got in at the very bottom of the last bear market, and that was not timed. Like, had no clue. Got in at the very bottom. My money doubled within a week, and I was like, "Oh my gosh! Like, this is awesome!" Absolutely believed in it right off the bat. That does not happen for everyone or anyone.
Right. Absolutely.
So that worked out really well for me. Total blessing. But so like your story, and then also just talking about how like basically everything's like 90 to 95% off right now. Like that's an amazing deal. And so it is the best time to get in, especially even if you're going to put in a couple of $100 or whatever it is the best time to get in because you're going to be getting more coins for the money that you are putting in.
Absolutely.
Do you I'm sorry, buddy. Do you have, like, as far as I go with onboarding, I onboard like personal friends and acquaintances. I don't know if you do that, like if you specifically help people, because I don't make videos, and I mean on the stream obviously, but I like helping like people I actually know get into crypto and helping them, but I don't really specifically onboard like strangers or people I don't know. I'm not sure what your experience with that is.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, like people I know, and I think we probably all have done that, hopefully in some sort of way. But there definitely have been people that reach out to me and they do ask, like, how can I get into this? And it's been an interesting thing, because I never expected to make videos for people that I didn't know and that would want to be onboarded on. But there have been people that have been no coiners that have bought into crypto because of videos that I have made. And so I really do try to focus on beginners because it doesn't make sense. Crypto does not make sense, like if you've never gotten into it. And so trying to be like that bridge way into it, but it is kind of weird. And hopefully eventually I will be able to help more people that I don't know get into crypto, because that is one of like my overarching goals within my channel.
Yeah. PLSD, what are you using out there in Thailand? What's your best tactic to onboard people? You meet them at the spa or what?
I actually do, funny enough.
I've seen the videos.
No, I mean, look, we're quite lucky here in one respect. Thailand's quite sort of has got a crypto is well known. Crypto itself is more so sort of used out here. So it's you haven't got that. So I know back home in the UK, people are sort of like, they're still like this a little bit with crypto, but out here they're more open and more warming to it. I find for me at the moment, Asic's a fantastic tool to bring people into this into our community, because I'm explaining to them about what ASIC is. Everyone's heard of Bitcoin. Everyone's heard of Bitcoin, obviously. So I talk about Pulse Bitcoin. Then I talk about ASIC being our miner, and at the moment we're on our first halvening, and it's 7.5%, and all that sort of stuff. And people are sort of saying, "Yeah, wow, this is really good." So I can buy X amount of ASIC, especially now it's $1. I buy X amount of ASIC, and then every 30, I lock it up, and every 30 days I get my Pulse Bitcoin. So yeah. So going back to the spa one, I'm at a spa. It's at every day near enough, and all right for some, isn't it? But and yeah, we always talk. We're always talking about what's going on and what's not going on. So, and I onboard people that way, really.
Yeah. I mean, meetups is kind of my thing, and we actually have this right here. So this is actually our next meetup coming up here very soon. It's going to be in West Palm Beach, Florida. It's actually at the grand opening of one of my new stores. So I own a chain of stores, so we're going to piggyback on it, and I think it's a great time because we're doing a car show there for the grand opening. And let's be honest, guys with cool cars have money, and they're perfect to onboard into crypto. So we're going to have quite the squad out there. I'm really excited for that event. We'll be doing a live stream from there as well, so you guys can kind of see what's going on. But like some of the major faces in our community will be there to kind of work with me to onboard some of these guys, and I'm pretty excited about that. But it's March 18th. It's going to be the address is right there. Anyone's welcome. We'll have DJs, food, drinks, adult beverages, of course. And the Future is Cheap Now was nice enough to give me a ton of merchandise to give away that he paid for himself. Great guy. So we got hats and stickers and other cool stuff that we'll be giving away. So, and what's not given away at that event, we'll actually bring on stream here to do some giveaways for you guys. So, but yeah, that's popping off. And well, you can see some of the other things we got going on, like the Wednesday Twitter space. Which, did you guys kind of catch how many people were on that last week? Like, it seemed like it was pretty loud, but I didn't get to stay on.
About 30, I think, 30-ish.
And then the playback is always the best. We definitely get a lot of playback on those things, so it's always a good time.
Unfortunately, this last week we weren't able. There was a technical error, and it wasn't able to be recorded. So, but that's okay. We'll get it on the next one.
So we, one of our members, this might be a Pratish production as well, but he created this video on how to mine PLSB, and it's a very quick video, and I kind of wanted to play it because this is something that you can pop on your Twitter or just email someone or, whatever. It's just a very quick segment, but let's play this. Oh, whoops, let's try it. There you have it. So, yeah, we actually have created this meme of the week segment now at this point. And so whereas this one is kind of funny, I believe that we actually have one that's even better. And I want to add this here. So let me just put this on first. Oh, this is great. When you're 3 years old with diamond hands, but your parents' hands are lettuce. Doesn't she look like a little real estate agent?
Yeah, she looks like a 40-year-old toddler.
Oh, that's so great.
Yeah.
That's so great.
You know who that
Gotta
is?
love memes.
Some
No, I don't have a clue, but she looks like a movie star, so oh, that's great. So yeah, let's keep moving along here. So let's talk about some important stuff. First off being the halvening, right? We all know that it's coming up very, very quickly. And Zog, since you kind of took the time to put this together here, do you want to talk on this a little?
Whoops, buddy, you're muted.
Right, how about now?
Good.
Yes, sir, you're good.
Okay, good. Yeah, so the slide pretty well speaks for itself here. Coming up in 63 days is going to be the end of the first halvening, right? So right now we're currently mining at for a yield of 7.5% on a monthly basis denominated in Pulse Bitcoin. Here coming up in about 63 days. So right now it says it's 13 May is going to be when that halvening is supposed to occur. And at which point then your rewards are going to be cut in half there. So if you want to keep the same production rate, you're going to have to double your ASIC miners. And that's what I'm really excited to see. I'm excited to see what it is that whales decide to do, or just, any participant, right? I know for me that during this dip, I've been picking up anything below $1. So that way I can double my mining power and continue to have the same production rate. So that's an amazing opportunity for anybody that wants to participate in that. Then after that, after the halvening, it becomes sheer math at that point, because anybody who is a perpetual dumper is going to have 50% less dumping power unless they get more miners and stuff. So that's part of the game theory and all of that, and something that I really enjoy in the ecosystem.
Yeah. So Fashion Coder, I know you got to get going here soon. We don't want to tie you up for much longer. But I wanted to ask you, are you familiar with kind of like Bitcoin's happening and all that stuff? And obviously you read the white paper. If you had to take kind of a guess as to what would happen in our ecosystem once the halvening hits, based on, historically we've seen what Bitcoin's already done. But if you had to take a guess, what do you see? What's your game theory for this?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm not extremely familiar with this. Just
okay.
Preface.
Sorry to put you on the spot.
All that. Oh, yeah. No, you're good. You're good. I need to learn more about it. But just even looking at this right here, I wasn't sure where the coin was at within cycles when I read the white paper. Mm-hmm. And so it looks like the next day is in May. So that's awesome. But it'll just increase the value. Is that correct? Because
so basically our very first halvening is estimated. It's an estimated. It depends on how many people are using the system, right? But at this rate, it's looking about May 13th. And what happens is that currently ASIC miners reap a 7.5% monthly reward, right? Once the halvening happens, that actually cuts in half, right? And so what it does is it kind of makes it a little bit more scarce in the being able to mine more Pulse Bitcoin, of course. And so the way my theory is that people are going to buy more Pulse Bitcoin because there's less sell pressure, right? Because the rewards have gone down. But there, on the other hand, it makes the ASIC miner more valuable because what you're mining is worth more. So there's a lot of different ways to look at this, and no one really knows what's going to happen, but it's just kind of interesting to forecast what might happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Scarcity is a good thing, especially in crypto.
Well, yeah, and on top of that, our coins are deflationary, and there's burning mechanisms, and they're building other layers on top of this to burn even more. So I'm going to leave this up to you. This is your homework. You do a little bit of research on the halvening, and then maybe do like a small video to your group or something. And I'll make sure that all of our community watches it, of course.
Okay, thanks. I will do that. I'll do more research.
Yeah, I would love to get your take to see what you think would happen. So before we let you go, Fashion Coder, I would love to kind of have you just kind of plug for the people that don't know, where to find you, where they might find you.
Yeah, absolutely. So on YouTube, it's Fashion Coder. And then on Twitter and Instagram, it's Fashion Coder 6. And my whole thing right now is I've been doing Get Ready With Me videos. And so I talk about crypto, just basic crypto. So I don't really talk about specific coins or anything, but just basic crypto in these Get Ready With Me videos. And I've actually seen my women viewer percentage go up by 10%. And so, which is awesome because that's also one of my goals. And so if you have any women in your life that you want to have them learn about crypto, like those have been awesome. And then I just do my how-to videos and all of that stuff on my YouTube.
You know what? I may take you up on that because when my girlfriend, I tell her, hey, can you watch the stream? She's like, I'm going to bed. She's like, how do you get them interested other than the money, of course? But yeah, I definitely, if you can maybe make it a little bit more easier to digest, I think that could be good for everyone.
Yeah, exactly. Because I was like, what do I want to watch? I was like, I like watching makeup videos. So maybe I can bring crypto and makeup together.
I love it. I love it. Finding other ways to get other people. It's a wonderful thing.
That's outstanding.
Well, we want to thank you for coming on, guys. If you had any final questions for Fashion Coder.
I don't have any. I don't have any specific questions. I just wanted to say thank you for being receptive to us and our community and stuff like that. It's been an absolute privilege having you on.
Absolutely.
Oh, well, thank you so much for having me on and letting me be a part of something like this. And also thanks for promoting the video that I did on Pulse Bitcoin and the white paper and everything. You are all so nice and so supportive. So thank you so much.
Excellent. Well, thanks again for coming on, and we hope to see you soon.
Awesome. Sounds good. Have a good night, everyone.
All right.
Okay. Thank you.
So there she goes.
Good.
That's a smart cookie, guys. I have to say, she definitely 13 and coding. Like, what was I doing when I was 13? I think I was playing with Muscle Men.
I was doing this.
Yeah, doing a little of that too, for sure. But it's really interesting.
I mean, if you've ever watched her videos,
I have.
She's got great content, man. I really enjoy the stuff that she puts out there. So good stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're excited. Maybe we can have her back on later in the future once we kind of progress this ecosystem a little bit further. But what I want to do right now is bring Sammy on. He's sitting here in the green room, and he's going to kind of go over some charts with us. So let me take this off here. And Sammy, whenever you're ready, buddy, you can share your screen. It is a great day to read charts, though. I'll tell you that.
That was a good stream tonight. I liked it.
Yeah.
I like the style. Fashion Coder was awesome. It's good to see Thailand there. How you doing, bro?
All good, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, I think now's the time for all of us to relax and just enjoy. We're kind of going through a little bit of a blossom phase now, Like all the stars are aligning for us. The community's there, it's tight. We've got the whales all pulling in the same direction and we're all swimming in their wake. We've hit some ice lines on the technicals. All the FUD, we've survived it. No matter how much they try to dump us, all the bad players are out, and now you've got accumulation happening in a growing community. It's almost like a cult,
Yeah, a good cult, I guess.
But yeah, we'll take a quick look at the charts.
Yeah, because we don't force anyone to be here. The charts speak for themselves. And Sammy, hit those, brother. They're looking good today.
Yeah, so let's have a quick look at the charts. Bear with me. I'll make sure nothing comes up here we don't want anyone to see. There we go. Can you see me?
Yeah. Let me take let me give you the full.
Okay.
There you go.
So I debated showing this chart because I don't want to give price targets to DGens, but so we've been in the downward wedge, right, with the Pulse Bitcoin, because this basically is free money, right? So you've been given free money since Pulse Bitcoin came out. So this is the date it came out on the 20th of November. The 19th of November. That's the first time that we got to mine Asic for 30 days and get this beautiful simple 5% reward. And these lines here, they represent every 30 days after that. So you got the mass majority of the OG miners, the large bags, the whales and the sharks coming out with their reward here. These are every 30 days. And what do we see coming up here? Well, that's the first halving. So all the dump pressure you're seeing come out at these levels here, right? We saw it happen first. We saw a little dump here, and then we saw a massive dump. Second profit taking opportunity. We saw a dump, obviously, again, but then what did we see? We saw stabilization, and then now we've had another dump phase. But market participants now, they've seen a bottom. They see people defending the price. We're not letting it get cheaper, so they see value there, and then they're costing in the upcoming hardening. So what's bullish on a technical level? So that, obviously we know that we've got some staking mechanisms coming out very soon, probably around this area. So we've got some fundamentals there. We've seen the RSI on the daily chart for the first time go into the bullish control zone. So that's above 60 there, right? So for the first time in our history, we're above the bullish control zone, and we've got lots of room to move up here. You see Hex and lots of things that have pumped before. They can stay up here in this region for a long time. So we're just getting warmed up here. Now, this is my favorite bit. It's the weekly chart. So on the weekly chart, right, we've had a bullish engulf. So again, we ice-lined here with a bullish engulfing candle, and that's been so that was the last 7 days on Sunday. We had a bullish engulfing candle. And now, after an ice line, the price has been defended. We've seen volume go down, which is a good sign for a breakout. And we've just seen, we're only like a few hours, 30 hours now into this week, and we're seeing massive price pump here. So yeah, I think this pump's just getting started. I think people need to understand that. Don't get panicky. So I've drawn a little trade for you degens there. You got 184% move here, and that goes to the golden bucket. That's the measure move there, from there to there. Yeah, let's go. And you know what? I'd be very careful trying to dump it around here. You might get wrecked, because we've got a lot of market participants coming in. Asic, well, I don't know. Is that cool coverage? I don't know what to say, really.
Oh, I know what to say. I'm going to say that we're going to need a bigger chart there, buddy. Going to need a bigger chart.
That's the one, Brody.
Oh, there's one more thing I wanted to show. Do you mind? It's
sure,
the most important thing, That is, let me find it. That is, I'm doing it. Here we go.
We got a mining family from
So this is the most important chart. Can you see this?
Yeah.
This is our lovely Corky who's been in the chat tonight, and this is what really counts. It's price is great, but are we seeing new wallets added every day? And we are. We're seeing new wallets added every day. If we go back to the start of this year, we're climbing at a significant rate. Look at this ASIC holders going up. PLSD holders have kind of sold off because they've put some of their economic energy into this new system. But what have we got coming up now? Potential PulseDoge staking mechanism. So that'll be cool.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so many reasons to bring on new holders right now, and with this new website and everything on the horizon, everyone should get out there and start, introducing people that, you find that would find a benefit in this. Bring them on. So, got a couple questions here in the chat. Well, it looks like someone just wants you to throw the link in there. In the chat, if you could. There.
Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah.
Excellent. So yeah, everything's looking good. Everything is looking good. I just to add to kind of the onboarding mechanisms, we have some stats here that are pretty interesting. All right. So, well, Zog, why don't you go ahead and explain what we're looking at here?
Yeah, I was hoping that you would, man. So this has been honestly, this is my favorite part of the community right here is our Telegram chat. Would you mind pulling down that comment that's right there? Yeah, there you go. Thank you. Just for a brief moment. Anyway, so I jump into the voice chat whenever I can here. I want to display to anybody that's watching the stream right now just what kind of participation that we're getting here. I mean, we got so this was on the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 5th of March. I was a little busy on the 4th apparently. But 24, 25, 29, and 28 people respectively on each of those days in the chat. And that was just me randomly popping in. I guess I was pretty consistent for the morning part of the day. But yeah, that's how many people we have in there on a fairly regular basis. And it's not uncommon that you can find 30. Before I started tracking this stat specifically, I remember I was on a road trip, and yeah, there was like 35 people in the chat for several hours while I was on the road, and that's just amazing for a new community.
Well, not only that, but like there's not many communities that even have a voice chat open to begin with. So yeah,
especially communities that are larger and more established than ours.
Understood. Yeah. Yeah, those are good stats for sure. Absolutely. Moving along here, if you want to kind of cover some of the liquidity and all that.
Oh yeah, I love talking about liquidity and stuff here. So if you guys remember from last time, here I'm pulling in this large, big screen for myself. Here at the top of the page here, can you see my arrow by chance? Okay, maybe not. That's okay. Here at the top, we're able to see the 3 largest liquidity pools here for all the liquid ASIC that is currently for sale. Last week we saw that it was liquid ASIC that was in the USDC pool was about 170,000. And if you look at the bottom of this chart here, we got over this big hump, and on the left side of that, so if you look at that red line there, left of the red line is price down, right of the red line is price up. So we're over the big hump. All of that liquidity that got eaten through is now buy support. So people want to dump their ASIC here. You're going to dump into significantly thicker liquidity for people that want to buy it up cheap. And then so I ran a little bit of math here for right of the red line in order to get to us. Like you kind of see how it kind of tapers off and flattens out, and then has that little speed bump again before we keep moving up in price. In order to get to that speed bump is right about $3. And that is, let me pull up my notes here, 2 seconds. I did the math here. Okay, so $100,000 in net buy pressure will get us to $3, and another $50,000 in net buy pressure. So a total of $150,000 in net buy pressure will get us back to all-time high. And so each of those little ticks there in the middle is only $2,000 per tick. So if you got after we finish off that little taper right there, and you get into that flat portion, every buy that's about $2,000 is going to be moving up another tick. So that price, what I'm trying to say here in layman's terms, is the price can move very quickly, especially with larger market buys. And anybody that's been around in crypto knows that $150,000 in net buy pressure for crypto is nothing.
Yeah, that can happen in a blink of an eye, and we've seen it before. So yeah, that's an interesting statistic here. I mean, it's smooth sailing. It really is. Of course, some of this can move around, but with the amount of buy pressure back there, I mean, we're in good hands.
Well, I mean, what we were seeing earlier in the price action was there was a lot of people that were dumping our coins from our ecosystem to jump into other ecosystems, chasing various different pumps within the, throughout the community, whatever it is that they were choosing to buy. I don't want to discuss that on stream, what it is that they were chasing. But the point is that, those people that like to trade, which I don't advocate for trading, a lot of those people are washed out. And the nice thing is every 30 days for each of these regular lockup periods gives an opportunity for the lettuce hands to wash themselves out. It keeps the system very healthy, if you ask me.
Yeah, I agree. And it looks like you have, let's see here, the PLSB chart, liquidity chart.
Yeah, let's pull that up full screen here. Yeah, so from the last time that we were up here, you can see what all the different stats here for how much PLSB is for sale with PLSB USDC pair being the most liquid. Still haven't figured out what that ACR stuff is. I would stay away from that. But anyways, we increased our holders by 35 people since our last stream. So that's or 35 wallets, I should say, since the last stream. That's pretty good. And then what's interesting about this this distribution here, as far as PLSB is concerned, let me pull up my notes. Because although it looks like it's pretty thick, it really isn't here. Because when you once you zoom into it, you only need $130,000 to get to all-time high prices, and each tick there is about $2,000 to $3,000.
What's our all-time high currently?
I think it was $3 in PLSB. I've got it right here. Hold on. Got it in a different screen. All-time high was $3.12 on the line chart. So that does not include a wick.
Interesting. So we're about a little less than a 1x for sure, 2x almost.
Yeah, that ain't bad really. So, when we're talking about, like, especially with all of the things that are coming up right now, people are very strongly incentivized to buy PLSB just outright, so that way they can get it locked up, so that way they can get the bonus for the new KB projects that are coming right around the corner.
Yeah, and when he talks about that price target, that's just us revisiting our previous high. So most likely we're going to actually surpass that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all if it reaches that all-time high kind of price range and it chops around there for a little bit. And then, some people who like to, degen around that area, and there we break through and a back test, make that support, then, it's clear skies from there.
Yeah, man, we're excited for it. We are excited. And there's a lot more people coming in. So we're doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes here. Our next show will actually have a wild SJ, if you guys are familiar with her. She's coming in. Looks like we'll have Corey Costa crypto coins. We've been talking to Crypto Sloth. I mean, there's a lot of guys that we've been reaching out to that are now a little bit more open to talking about this ecosystem. Maybe due to the fact that the community is growing and the price charts are reflecting. I think they're now having to respect our community, and it's a good feeling because, we all came from realistically about the same place. Like, let's be honest, Hex really was kind of the start of most of how we got together. But these guys are getting outside of their comfort zone, and I really do appreciate that because I do remember how hard it was to sway outside of that ecosystem. But yeah.
Well, why that is, though, is because there are so many cryptos out there, air quotes, cryptos, right? That really just are scams. They have admin keys and they don't have product market fit. They don't have any of those things that you need in order to actually be successful. If you like Hex, that's awesome, man. It is a good crypto. It is a genuine decentralized crypto, and that's awesome. And then for our ecosystem, we are what I would consider one of the few cryptos that actually exist out there. Where there's no admin keys. It has product market fit. And it's decentralized and all those other things for we need to get a page there, what the founding principles are of crypto, because we have them all here, and that rates a stream all by itself. But then that's what makes any product worth buying, especially in the crypto realm.
Dojo, what were you going to say, buddy?
I was just going to say or ask, so SJ and Corey are going to both be on the next stream, or they're just slated to make?
No, not together. Different streams. SJ is officially scheduled for next stream. If you guys don't know who she is, she actually read Richard's self-help book. She did the audio book for that. And she's a big member of the community. And we're going to talk about a lot of different things next week. I don't want to call her a prepper because that's not really what she is, but she definitely is a farmer. If the apocalypse happened, I would go to hang out with her because she definitely has everything she needs for sure. But we're going to talk about a lot of things next week, next Monday, discussing crypto and how that is something that everyone should be looking into right now, everyone, and other things that you can do to prepare yourself for, rough times ahead possibly. But yeah, guys. We're up on an hour and 20. I think we covered a lot of stuff tonight, and I had a great time on the show. Thanks, Fashion Coder. Thanks, PLSD Thailand. Thanks, Fat Sammy, and thanks to the crew, all you guys that are doing this thing with me every week. I really do appreciate all of your hard work, for sure. Any final thoughts, guys? Any final thoughts?
Let's keep this train rolling. That's all I'm saying.
Keep it going.
Absolutely. So on that note, we're going to end the show, and we hope to see you next Monday at 9:00 Eastern Time with a Wild SJ. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Inflation's up and
Life is hard, with rising inflation and a soaring cost of living. Bitcoin was a way to escape this, but now Bitcoin is dying. When Bitcoin started, you could use a laptop to mine it with just a few clicks. Now, Bitcoin has been hijacked by big money, making it impossible for the average user to make life-changing wealth. It's slow, it's outdated, and expensive. The world needs a better Bitcoin. The future is here, and the future is Pulse Bitcoin. Faster, more secure, non-polluting, and DeFi compatible. Old Bitcoin mining requires expensive mining rigs and costly energy bills, making it almost pointless. With Pulse Bitcoin, you can software mine by staking your ASIC tokens, utilizing proof-of-stake technology on the Ethereum network. It's so easy to participate. Simply buy the ASIC token on Uniswap, then go to pulsebitcoin.app and set them to mine for 30 days. You'll earn 7.5% of the token amount in Pulse Bitcoin every 30 days. Don't want to mine? Easy. Simply buy Pulse Bitcoin on the open market and hold it as a powerful store of value. You are so early. This ecosystem is packed with tokenomics designed to drive the price up. Pay your future self by participating in the most aggressive, price-appreciating ecosystem in existence. A decentralized, peer-to-peer Bitcoin, the way crypto was always meant to be. Go to pulsebitcoin.com. It's time for a better Bitcoin. It's time to make life-changing wealth.